Okay, let's begin. Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyaye Sarva Vignopashantaye Sada Shivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. So in the last class, we discussed how a karma yogi, one who has successfully engaged in karma yoga and has graduated from karma yoga, he goes to the teacher for the next for advancement in the spiritual progress. And the guru, the teacher, he teaches him the relationship between universe, Jiva, and the Paramatma. Now, this universe, this process is called the Shravana, that is the teaching. The Guru teaches, and the Shishya, the Karma Yogi, he absorbs the information, that is the Shravana. Then he has to, internalize it. What he has heard, he has to internalize it, think of it again and again and again, and then that is called manana, Shravana manana. And then when the manana has become firm, the next step would be what is described as nididhyasana, meditation, that he has to experience. He knows intellectually the relation between these three, but he has to experience that himself, that he is the Parabrahma. That happens in the nididhyasana. So we were discussing about the dissolution creation of the universe in this context, and the dissolution and the creation of the universe corresponds to Creator Brahma's day and night. Excuse me for a minute. So he does this through the agency of Maya. He himself does not participate in anything, but the Maya that he is his lower nature. Excuse me. The Maya that is his lower nature, he utilizes that. Just like I am Parabrahma, I utilize the power in me through the awareness. The awareness causes the mind to energize the prana. So that's the power that we have in order to accomplish anything. So like that, the entire action of Brahma is modeled on the human model itself, on the human behavior, human activities. So Brahma, he uses his power of Maya, that is considered his lower nature or inferior nature, and he executes this day and night, or the Brahma, creator Brahma he creates, and then creator's Brahma's day and night corresponds to the creation and dissolution on the earth. So it is once the Brahma has been created, then Brahman, he kind of retires. He is only seeing a witness. He is not involved in any action. It is Brahma who is there, also a part of the Maya, Ishvara. He is called also. Ishvara has three roles: Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Brahma is the creator, Ishvara is the sustainer, and Maheshwara is the dissolutioner. So these three, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, execute the whole process of creation and destruction, dissolution. And this is happening through Maya. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara are also in the Maya. Ishvara is also in the Maya. So, per se, even for Ishvara, there is no direct benefit. If you want to call, even for Brahman, there is no direct need for creating the dissolution, creating a dissolution of the universe. The need for creation and dissolution of the universe is for the use of the jivas to work out their karma and for them to spiritually progress to achieve their real nature. That's where we stopped last class. So we will move to the next verse. What is happening here? Now moving forward, let me see. Okay. I have to redo this. Okay. So we continue. Prakriti ma swam avashtabhya visrijami punah punaha bhutagrama mimam krishnam avasham prakriter vashat. So Krishna is telling here that Krishna is a realized soul. He is now telling Arjuna, he as Brahman, he has incarnated to maintain the dharma. And so he's saying, stimulating my inferior nature. Punaha, punaha, again and again, repeatedly, I release all the transients. I release all the samsaris to work out their karma. And this aggregate of jivas, aggregate of transients, compulsorily are servile to nature. I cannot come and say, no, I don't want to take birth, because I have done karma, and I have to experience the fruits of those karma, good or bad, whatever it is. I have to experience that. So I am compulsorily subject to the whims of this nature, the inferior prakriti of Paramatma. And once I am born, I have to die one day. I have no control on whether I should be living beyond a certain date. So that is what he says, avasham prakriti vashat. Every jiva is compulsorily subject to the whims and fancies of the prakriti, and which is only to work out the karma. So who does he dispatch? He dispatches the jivas like you and me, and also the inanimate world has to be created for me to enjoy the fruits of my action. Sense objects has to be there, and so everybody, one, like a stone in this life may not be a stone in the next life. It could be an animal. It could be a human being. Like we hear the story in Ramayana where Rama touches on on one rock and it becomes Ahalya. That Shapa we have known. So like this both animate and inanimate, they could be changing places and depending on their karma. And so that past karma, whatever it is, that has to be experienced, and that is why this universe is created. Now, this karma may be in the previous life, or it could be even in the previous cycle, which has gone through several creation dissolutions. So the karma is very tenacious. It survives as long as it is necessary. So these are ultimately, in the previous cycle, all those jivas, they merged into the cosmic nature, the inferior nature of the Paramatma, and so they are held in there in a potential form, and then they are released back in the next creation. So in the beginning of the current cycle, these jivas have been dispatched, and we are working out our karma. Swam prakritim avashtabhya. He is invoking his own maya. He doesn't need another agency to do the work. For me to do my work, I need a computer. But for him, that computer is part of his inferior nature. You see, he has to maintain the huge spreadsheet of all the jivas and their karmas, and what are the, in order to experience the karma, I have to have association with people, and those people have to be created, and those people's karma must match with what they get in association with me. Like this is a huge spreadsheet that he manages, and that is part of his inferior nature. So how does this all start? At the beginning of this current cycle, there's a disturbance in this maya, in this cosmic prakriti. And when that disturbance, see, the Brahman is a consciousness, and associated with him is this maya, that is jada. So because of the association of this consciousness and the maya, there is a fever, there is a disturbance in the maya at some point. This is all programmed. That's how we can understand. Like we set up the alarm and go to sleep, and the alarm rings in the morning and we get up. Like that, this disturbance in the cosmic prakriti, this has been set up in the previous Rudra when he dissolved the universe. That has been set up. That's how we can understand it. So there is that disturbance, and when that disturbance happens, that's the time for the creation of the next cycle, and that invokes the power of the maya. And this maya is of the essence of sattva, rajas, and tamas. And so the various entities of creation begin to take shape. So this host of beings thrown out, they are tossed out into this universe. Like we have a dream, and the dream projects the dream universe. When I have a dream, when you have a dream, your dream and my dream are different. Your dream universe and my dream universe are different. In your dream universe, there is XYZ people, and in my dream universe, there is ABC people. They are different. None of them have reality per se, and that is what is being, that message is given here. Like the dreamer projects the dream universe, Brahman projects this universe of Maya, made up of Maya. So the individual beings are differentiated in accordance with their impressions of karma. Now, like it is all in a bubble in one, and then the bubble begins to disintegrate, and that disintegration results in the differentiation of different jivas, and those jivas will get a body according to their experience of the karma that they have to undergo, and therefore they get a different body. Some get a human body, some get a divine body, etc., like that. So this Brahman, with the power of Maya, he appears as Ishvara. That is called Ishvara. Ishvara is also called Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. Brahma is the role of creation. Vishnu is the role of maintaining. And Rudra has the responsibility of finally dissolving the universe when the karmas of all the people have been experienced and they need rest. When they need rest, that, the dissolution happens. Janma mrityu jara tapta jana vishranti dayani. Lalita Sahasranama says, so the people are tired of this repeated birth and death. So all right, I'll give you a break. I'll put you in sleep for a long time. And so he puts them all in sleep. That's how we can understand it. Okay. So by the power of his Maya, again and again, he creates this universe, creation and dissolutions, that cycle happens. So we are all in a helpless state, in a dependent state. We have no choice. So the transients embracing these three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, you see, how do we embrace these gunas? I do engage in action, and engaging in action is engaging in the gunas, and that is embracing the gunas. So we have lost our independence. We have given our independence, the key to our jivatva, to these three gunas, and they have to work out. When I have given them the responsibility to manage my jivatva, they do their job. So we have lost our independence, and we are caught in this trap of Prakriti. And continuously we go through birth and death. Now, until how long this happens? Until such time that we all recognize, oh no, we have to do something. So we are doing now, we are studying Bhagavad Gita. To do something means we are trying to understand the whole process. And then we will slowly, if definitely maybe not in this life, but in the future life, somewhere we are placed in a position where we could move further up in the spiritual ladder. That when that happens, ultimately sometime down the road, we will all achieve this release from this bondage of transmigration, and we don't anymore identify with the body. We identify with the consciousness. When that identification with consciousness alone happens, then we are released. We have recognized our true nature, and we don't have any more birth and death. Like this, how what we see universe is only is not the reality. It's only a appearance. Like the example is given here. White light I cannot see. Like that I cannot see Brahman. Now, in order to know that there is white light, or you pass it through the light passing through a glass prism that has different components in it. Like that, this Brahman's inferior nature has different components like these various entities. So downstream of the glass prism, we see the different colors. Now these colors don't have independent existence. Only white light has independent existence. White light I cannot see. Its presence I can only infer by putting a hand like this, and the light shines on the hand, and the hand is revealed. That is how the light is seen. So, but this light, when it passes through a glass prism, it shows the 7 colors, but the 7 colors have no independent existence. It is part of the prism, part of the white light. So like that, each one of us, either the Ishvara or the universe or the jivas, the animals, everybody, we don't have an independent existence. We appear through the field of Maya to each other by this. This is a human being, this is an animal, etc. And that power of Maya is of the composed of these 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. And we will see how the sattva, rajas, and tamas plays a role in the creation of the universe of different entities, Ishvara, or the human beings or animals, etc. We'll see down the road. So this is an example just to understand how the one Brahman appears to us as different beings, and this appearance we have to discount as not real. It's only unreal. It's only an appearance, and therefore, see, for example, I have the sense organs, so the universe appears to me. But for a rock, it doesn't have a sense organ. The universe doesn't exist. The Brahman also doesn't exist for that. So that's one end of it. The other end is a human being who has shed the identity of the body. He does not have any more identity with the body. That means he doesn't have identity with Maya. Then he sees the Atma. He experiences the Atma. So that is the meaning that we have to draw from this. And we will analyze this a little more in the next couple of verses. Tribirgunamayihi mayayihi bhavaihi yebihi sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabijanati mamebhyaha paramavyayam. So this entire universe deluded by the proclivities of the three of the nature, the triad of proclivities of nature, sattva, rajas and tamas, is what the universe is composed of, and ignorant of me being deluded, the immutable and the supreme. So this deluded person does not recognize the immutable and supreme Brahman. Why? Because the sense organs cannot see. We will analyze that in this verse and in one of the future verses also. So the entire universe is deluded. We believe that the sense organs are presenting as the full picture. That is the delusion. The believing in the value of the sense organs to reveal the reality. It is showing me the reality. That is delusion. My belief in that sense organs, the whole system of 5 sense organs, and what it shows to me, I believe that as the reality. That is the delusion that we are undergoing here. So sattva, rajas and tamas, how does it affect me and you? It affects me and you by attachment, hate and delusion, and some knowledge also. Sattva, I know this object, that is knowledge. I know this is a tree, that is a knowledge, that is part of the sattva. Then I love this fruit, that is an attachment. And then I don't like this vegetable, I don't like broccoli, so that is a hate. So like this, we are separating out the same entity. Brahma is though present in it, because of my sense organs seeing. My tongue tastes something good, I love it. My tongue doesn't taste something that I like, therefore I discard it. See, for some people, some taste is good. Some people like ice cream, some people don't like ice cream. So according to them, they develop an attachment and hate. The same entity, Brahman, one says I like it, the other person says I don't like it. That's the inner meaning that we have to derive out of this. So this illusion is an impediment to exercise their discrimination. What should be the right discrimination? There is only one entity, Brahman. But I have this delusion, I like ice cream. So I don't see the Brahman there, I see the ice cream. So that is the delusion. So entire universe is a modification of these 5 elements. These Akasha, Vayu, Tejas, Jala, and Prithvi, like this. So all these 5 entities, these elements, have associated with them some proclivities, and there is a between the proclivity in the body and the proclivity in the object outside, there is a love-hate relationship, and that love-hate relationship is the delusion. That there is something beyond what my sense organs see that I am not able to see. So we go through emotional experiences of pleasure, arrogance, etc. as a result of this hate and love attitude towards the objects of nature. So all these objects of nature, including my body and mine and your body and mind, etc., are a composite of varying distributions of the 3 gunas. If the gunas are identical in each one of us, then each one of us have the same attitude towards objects as hate and attachment. No, we don't have. Somebody likes coffee, somebody doesn't like coffee. So that means your guna composition is different from my guna composition. So the gunas permeating through the entire universe is the source of our delusion. The transients, the jivas of the samsaris, go through this delusion because wherever you turn to in the universe, there is a guna associated with that object. Now, if that guna is compatible with the guna of me, there is an attachment. If that guna is not same as I have, then there's a hate. Like this, we go through this process of delusion. Now, what else does this do? This guna, it creates a certain knowledge, and creating a certain knowledge, it ends up in ego. I know this, I enjoy this, I don't like this. All these are expressions of ego. I here standing for the body. I am not the body, but when I refer to other objects, I am talking with respect to my body, and therefore this me and minus, that ego appears in all of us. Now, how does these three gunas show this ego? The sattva proclivity says, I know this object, I know physics, I know chemistry, I know medicine. All these are the outcome of sattva proclivity in us. Rajas proclivity, it promotes I am the doer, I am angry, I hate you. All these are part of the rajas proclivity. And tamas proclivity promotes, oh, I am so sleepy, I am tired, I don't want to know this, I don't know this. All these are parts of, are the functions of the tamas proclivity. So each one of us have all the three. The more sattva I have, the more knowledge I have, the less rajas I have, the less love and hate relationship I develop, and the less tamas I have, I'm that much less sleepy or ignorant. So this is how we play the gunas place in our life, and we become the slaves of these gunas unless we make an effort to change this composition. We can do that. That is where this life is available to us as an opportunity. This life, though, is given to us as to work out the karma. I can work out the karma such that I also change the composition of the gunas. Like if I am a project manager, I can do one thing. I can just do the karma of the duty of a project manager, but I can go more than that and show some leadership and complete the project better than what we thought. Then that means I have taken an action to exceed the expectation. And like this, in this life also, we can exceed the expectation. The expectation is to work out the karma, but I can exceed that expectation by not just doing karma, but also by doing how I do the karma. What I do is what is expected of me in this life. How I do is what I can add value in this life and change the composition of the gunas for my next birth. So this way, being deluded, I don't have the discrimination. I end up with the indiscrimination. Oh, everything is what I see is what is real. That is the reality. That is the indiscrimination. So I do only what is expected of me. But when I start living a discriminated living, how I can improve myself, that how if I implement in my life, I can overcome the rajas and tamas proclivities and enhance the sattva proclivity. Sattva proclivity, we have already said, it is happiness and knowledge. And more the happiness and knowledge, the more I am towards understanding the real nature of this universe, which is Parabrahman. But if I'm only seeing what my sense organs are showing, then I just exist. I don't make any spiritual progress. So this Paramatma, Supreme Brahman, he is 100% sattva. There is no rajas and tamas contamination in him, and that is where we have to graduate to. In order to graduate to the level of Paramatma, so Supreme Brahman, what I have to do is I have to start decreasing the rajas and tamas. I have the tamas. Make use of the tamas to increase the tamas. I have the sattva. Make use of the sattva to increase the sattva and reduce the rajas and tamas. Then I am working towards how to to aspect of my life, not what of aspect of life, but how to aspect of life is also being improved. When that happens, I'm making progress. So this Paramatma being free of the gunas, he is of a different nature. What is that different nature? Immutable, having no modifications like birth. When immutable means no modification. No modification means there is no birth, there is no death. So this is avyaya. Avyaya is the word that is used in the text. So this immutable nature, if we get to, then consciousness has no beginning, no end, and therefore there is no birth or death associated with consciousness. Now, why is it that he is unknown to us? Because we dwell too much on our sense organs. We accept our sense organs as reality. And see, the sense organs come and go. And what I am able to see when I'm at 20 years of my age, I cannot see that when I'm 90 years of age. I wear glasses. Even glasses doesn't help sometimes. I can't hear what I was hearing well when I was young. Now, as I advance in age, the hearing becomes a problem. I don't hear anything. Therefore, this itself should be an eye-opener for us that the sense organs are not real. If there is something that is real, that means it is not changing. That's the definition of reality. One that doesn't change is what is real. One that changes is temporary. So we have to draw this lesson that yes, I'm not able to do what I was doing. I'm not able to see or hear what I was able to see and hear. And therefore, we should rely less and less on our sense organs, and we should look at more towards the permanent entity, that is the Paramatma. Now, what is my means of knowledge? I have 5 sense organs, and my means of knowledge is sense organs. Now, with these sense organs, this Supreme Brahman is I cannot perceive the Supreme Brahman. There are reasons for that. And now, this Supreme Brahman must be experienced in the mind. How I experience in the mind is the subject matter of the sadhana. So the transient gunas attract him to gunas in sense objects. As we had already discussed, there is a attachment when there is an identity of the gunas. So when I am focusing on the gunas, I'm only focusing on the guna aspect of this Maya. I don't have focus on the Supreme Brahman who is beyond the gunas. So they fail to know me. That's what Krishna says. They fail to know me even as I am the source of proclivities. Maya is my inferior nature, and this Maya is of the nature of three gunas. So they fail to know me. They don't know my superior nature. They just instead are happy dwelling in my inferior nature, and with that I am not being seen to them. So they don't know where this proclivity. We take it for granted the universe is there, and we don't try to understand what is the source of this universe, because universe is so long, like so many millions and millions of years. My life is only 100 years, and therefore when I am coming here to this life, I don't know what happened in the previous. Unless I try to find out what happened. See, like if an example is given, I can say, what happened, my parents' birthday, let us take my parents' marriage day. My parents' day of marriage, how the day was it very sunny or was it rainy or what? Only they have to tell me. Then only I can understand that it was a rainy day or a sunshine day on the day of their marriage, how many people came, all those things. Only when they tell me, I can know. I cannot know before, by my birth, whenever it was, my parents who caused my birth. Now, I cannot know what happened on their wedding day unless they tell me. Like this, universe is created by the Lord, and therefore he has to tell us how this universe is created. I can try as much as I can, but I will not be able to know the source of this universe unless I listen to him, and that is the Upanishads. He gives us that knowledge through the Upanishads. So this is how we have to analyze, and now Krishna moves on to the next one. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Okay, we have this guna, we have this maya. Now, how do I overcome that? He says, you need my grace only. If you have my grace, you can overcome this guna maya. Otherwise, you are stuck here. That's the essence of this verse here. This, my divine illusion of proclivity, is an extreme challenge to transcend. Duratyaya, it's an extreme challenge. It's not easy to transcend it. Those taking refuge in me alone, they transcend this illusion. You see, this I have to tell. If you are doing a PhD project, you have to take refuge in your guide. There is no other choice to complete your PhD and get your degree. Like that, this taking refuge in Lord alone will help us transcend this illusion. Let's see. So, Krishna has said here, Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya. He is taking ownership of the Maya. The locus of Maya is Parabrahman. But Maya being in his control, he is not affected by it. If I have the power to, do something, I control the doing that something. I am not affected by doing it, as I remain the same. It's like that. Parabrahman is not affected by it. Maya is dependent. Parabrahman is independent. And therefore, this Maya, though it exists in him, it doesn't affect him. An example, like the snake having the poison in it, it is not affected by its poison. The snake is not going to die every day because it has the poison in its mouth, but it can affect other people. So like this, Parabrahman's having Maya does not affect him. It affects all other beings developing hate and attachment. Now, this Maya is an outward appearance having no independent existence. Go back to that prism example. Maya is only projected to people who believe in sense organs. Those who don't believe in sense organs, they don't see Maya, they don't see the universe, they see the Paramatma. Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda asked him, have you seen God? And Sri Ramakrishna says, yes, I have seen God. I see God more clearly than I am seeing you, he says. That means his dependence on the sense organs is of a lower value than seeing on the Lord himself. So, Maya, if I believe in my sense organs, I believe in this outward appearance of Paramatma, and I don't see his inner nature. So, having no independent existence, like the Maya has no independent existence, the costume has no independent existence in the context of the body. Today I wear one suit, tomorrow I wear another suit. If I wear different suits different day, I am not different on different days. I am the same person wearing different coats, jackets every day. Like that, Maya is an appearance, is a jacket on the body of Paramatma. And that body we are recognizing, we are not seeing the nature of the Paramatma himself. Now, if the costume is removed, the body is revealed, obviously. So, likewise, Maya is the suit of Parabrahma. If the Maya is negated, then you will see the Parabrahman like a child having no clothes on it. You see the entire body of the child, but a child which moves around with clothing, you don't see the reality of the body of the child. So, but I'm seeing the universe. Can I deny it? No, you can't deny the universe as you're seeing it, because it has some reality, because it is coming from the Paramatma, the reality. The Paramatma, the reality, is showing the universe. Therefore, that nature of Paramatma to some extent appears in this universe. That is what we call as a transactional reality. Vyavaharika Satya, that's what it is called. It's a transactional reality. There is a wall. Now, I cannot say that this wall is also Brahman and go clash into the wall. I have to recognize that this is Brahman, all right, but it is appearing as something else which could impede me further progress in walking in that direction. So I have to recognize the reality of the wall only to the extent of transaction. I cannot be I cannot believe in the reality of it beyond the transaction level. That's what this Maya we have to recognize as. Experience of Maya or perception is happening in the medium of Maya itself. If I am outside Maya, I don't see the wall. I don't see this, this Maya. If you are outside it, the universe doesn't make anything sense to them. Those people who are realized, they are known to, not observe the norms of society. Though Brahmendra, Sadashiva Brahmendra, he was walking in a forest where there was a Muslim king was having a retreat. So Sadashiva, and then he had all his wives. So when Sadashiva Brahmendra went into the forest, he did not recognize the human beings that were there because he's seeing only Brahman. And then they cut his hand, that he is entering into the inner quarters of the ladies of the king there. So then he moved on. He had no body consciousness, so he moved on. Then they got scared. They went to the king. The king then came back and fell on his feet. Oh, they cut your hand. So I give me, please excuse me, like this. Then, oh, well, what hand, what cut he has? And then they bring the hand. He puts it back in his shoulder, and then he moves on like this. That's the story. Okay, so the idea is they don't follow the norms of society. Norms of society is only in the realm of Maya. If you have exceeded and transcended Maya, there is no norms of society, and therefore they are known to do certain things which we think is abnormal, but from their perspective that is normal, and this societal norms are abnormal. So this universe, this experience of Maya or perception of the universe is happening in the Maya itself through the sense organs. If it is happening through the Maya, it is happening through the sense organs. Now let us see what the sense organs can do. Now my eyes cannot hear, my ears cannot see. We all know that. So the extent of the sense organs is limited. The extent of sense organs is limited. My tongue cannot see or hear. My tongue can only taste. So these sense organs have a limitation. That if we accept, then we are going to accept going beyond the sense organs, going beyond the Maya. So each sense organ is limited to perceive only one inert sense object. Therefore, if my eyes cannot hear, my eyes cannot see Brahman also. Because of its limitation, it can only see an inert object. Even among the inert object, it cannot see a subtle object. It can only see a gross object. That's what it will see. Sense organs cannot perceive the subtle elements of nature. We have gone through this Panchikarna. So five subtle elements combined to form what we call the universe, the gross form of the universe. And therefore, my eyes cannot see a subtle water or a subtle air or a subtle akasha. If my eyes cannot see the subtle akasha, the Atma is subtler than the subtle akasha, and therefore how can my eyes can see the Atma? So this consciousness is even subtler than the subtlest of the subtle elements, that is the space. So it's obvious to us that the sense organs cannot perceive the consciousness. Sense organs have a limitation, and if we recognize that, then we are able to recognize the role of Maya. Once we are able to recognize the role of Maya, I am in a position at least to say, okay, I can go beyond the Maya if I do something else. And that is where we are today. Now, we all believe in science. We have put 40 years of our life in the study and practice of science. Therefore, we have a lot of credibility in science. But the science also happens in the field of Maya, in the domain of Maya. And as long as I'm in the domain of Maya and I continue to believe in the sense organs, then I can never come out of the Maya. So it's an exercise in Maya, and I have to go beyond the sense organs. That means I have to go beyond science. I have to go to the spiritual nature to understand the Parabrahman. So science is a study of the inert objects, and through the faculties of our sense organs and mind, and therefore the everything, science, humanities, arts, Vedas, even Vedas fall within the category of the domain of Maya. Even Pursukta, if I say, is only in the domain of Maya. In my sleep, where is Pursukta, where is science, where is art? Nothing is there in my deep sleep. That is the reality in the deep sleep. And in Parabrahma is because we are in Parabrahma at that time. Being in Parabrahma, there is no universe, and the sense organs have no relevance in that domain. And so as long as we hold on to science, that means we are having credibility in the sense organs, and that is the obstacle for us to transcend this Maya. Now, we will further analyze this. How does this all happen? So, sense organs bring the information of sense objects to mind and intellect. Now, before the intellect determines something, the mind can only see it as some object. It does not know exactly what that object is. Sometimes we run into some animal we have never seen before. We are seeing an object, but we don't know the true nature of that object. Now, that is why, like a child initially does not have the concept of fear. The concept of fear comes only when you know the nature of it. So unless you have the intellect to determine what it is the intellect that determines the nature of the object. Until you know that that ego has been existing, you don't have any interaction with them. So the intellect determines the nature of the sense objects. The mind only sees the sense object, but it does not know the nature of the sense object. So the ego perceives the object. I am seeing, I am afraid of it, I am touching it, but I have no fear. All these things come later on, but and only after the intellect has determined the nature of the object. Then he is not the body, but he identifies with the body, because I am seeing. When I say I am seeing, it's my eyes, my body, that is what is seeing, and therefore that ego comes in the way of overcoming the Maya. So this way I see the multiplicity of things. I as body have come to see a view this multiplicity of objects. Now I have to separate myself from the multiplicity of bodies. I can only exist in consciousness if I transcend in this multiplicity. That is the transcending the Maya. We have all known that in the deep sleep, you and I experience the same thing. So Brahman is a unity. There is only one Brahman. There are many bodies. So in seeing this multiplicity, one consciousness is invisible. We don't see the Brahman, we see the bodies. Now with bodies, the same, we have gone through this again and again. With the body identity, this delusion from an inability to see the real nature, and he believes the body and mind as real, and he proceeds with that knowledge of duality. That is because when you live at the body and mind level, we see duality. You are different, I am different, and this duality prevents us from seeing the Paramatma. So that is Maya, that the composite of knowledge from the five sense organs. That is Maya. Believing in the reality of body and ignorant of Atma, that is Maya. So examples are given: algae in water, cloud in space. Now, this algae, though it is born in water, you have to separate out the algae to see the clear water, deep into the lake. If you want to see, you have to separate out the algae, you have to transcend the algae. Like this, similarly, clouds appear in space. The clouds is obstructing the sun for me. Now, this is, how did the cloud come? The sun evaporated water, and then the clouds form in the space. Now it is the clouds that is stopping me from seeing the sun. Only when the cloud is clear, I can see the sun. Like this Maya is a cloud that we have to overcome to see the Paramatma. So this proclivity is born of Paramatma, like the algae born of water. I have to separate out the algae to see the water. Like this, I have to separate out the Maya to see the Paramatma. So the Maya covers the Paramatma, and therefore it obstructs my knowledge of the reality, and therefore I am affected by these gunas of the Maya. I have to overcome the gunas of the Maya to understand the Paramatma, to experience the Paramatma. So every person who is seeing the body identity is affected by this Maya. Now, once I am affected, I am unable to see the difference between the real and the unreal. We take what is easily accessible to us is the unreal. We accept that. The real is immutable, does not have the modifications of birth and death, that we don't know, so we don't believe in it, or we don't experience it. Maya is a composite of these three proclivities, and as we have seen, the proclivities project an ego in seeing duality, and inevitably that leads to delusion. It's same idea, concepts come in different ways, so by the time we come to the Bhagavad Gita, if you really read all the 18 chapters, everything comes together. Individual verses may not make much sense, but when you read through all verses and understand them, all of them really come together to see what Krishna is saying here. So this thought that I am not being seen by people who are in Maya, he strengthens that thought here. Nam prakashaha sarvasya yoga maya samavrutaha mudoyam nabhijanati loko mamajam avyayam. This yoga maya is masking me. Yoga maya is a divine illusion. That illusion is masking me, and therefore I am not revealed to all beings, all the transients. So deluded world knows me not. That knows me not, who is unborn and unchanging. See, anything that is born is changing. Anything that is born has to die one day. So there is a change. Anything that is born has to grow. There are these 6 changes, modifications happening: existence, birth, growth, then that is kind of becoming limited, and then finally dying. So anything that is born has to change, but the unborn doesn't have to change, doesn't change. That's the subtlety that we have to understand here. that the unborn doesn't change, it remains the same. Anytime something is born, that has to change. That's the rule of Maya, really. So yoga means, in this case, is the association of the gunas. So the Maya that is caused by the association of gunas is called the Yoga Maya. So the gunas are the manifestation of Maya, and therefore they are called Yoga Maya. Now, where does this Yoga Maya come to me? Through my sense organs. I see the objects of the sense organs, and therefore I am attracted or detracted from that. That is Yoga Maya. These sense organs, why we use it for enjoyment of sense objects. Now, this is the trap Krishna has set up, the Lord has set up for us. Okay, I give you sense objects, I give you sense organs. Now you have a challenge. You can either reject the sense objects, or you can accept the sense objects. If that is the case, I can never improve. Then Krishna is saying here, hey, you know what? You can make me as the sense object. If I can make God as the sense object, that is what we do when we go to temple to do a puja, or to tell a friend of the story of what happened in the temple. When I do puja in my home, when I do a stotra para, we do Vishnu Sahasranama Parayana. That is, we are seeing Parabrahman as a sense object, and how beautiful that sense object is. That is how we try to we can try to improve that, making the Lord as a sense object. I have five sense organs as the only means of knowledge. Now, Parabrahman is beyond these sense organs. Now, I have to somehow make Parabrahman as a sense object. How do I do that? I create an image. I create a stotra. I hear that stotra. I recite that stotra. All these are treating Parabrahman as a sense object. Now, as more and more I treat the Parabrahman as a sense object, the less and less I am affected by the sense organs of the universe. That is the essence of what we have to do in this verse. So this I'll take another 2-3 minutes before we finish this. So this Yoga Maya is manifested through the sense organs of the transients. Now, we deploy these sense organs for this sense objects of Yoga Maya. Now, if I can go beyond that, see this the trap here set up for us to see the sense objects of Yoga Maya. I have to go beyond that. How? It's because he is hiding from the enjoyers of sense objects. Now, the person who is suffering from the enjoyment of sense objects has to think a little more and says, okay, he has set up a trap, I will try to overcome that. I'll make God as a sense object. If you make God as a sense object, then you can do the puja, then you can do the read the stories about him, you can tell the stories about him to other people. That is what we have to do as sense object. The devotees enjoy and revels in the exchanging the stories of the Lord. It comes in the 10th chapter. Katayantascha mam nityam tushyanticha ramanticha. In Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that, hey, people enjoy telling my stories. They feel the pleasure of telling my stories. Katayantascha mam nityam tushyanticha ramanticha. They revel in this telling the stories of me. So you have made the verses 10th chapter, 9th verse. So my glory and eminence is narrated by people by making me as a sense object. The more and more you dwell on the Lord as a sense object, you are now receding from the sense object of the universe, of the Maya, sense object of the Maya, and therefore you create a path for yourself to exceed to transcend the Maya. So in narrating and reveling in the glories of the Lord, his love for the Lord immensely on the rise, culminating in the surrender to the Lord. So as we all know that more and more we like something, we become attached to them. Now you get attached to the Lord through the worship services, etc. And you have to discover me through my glory. Whatever my glory is, you will discover me through that worship, through that recitation of the stotras, etc. And you can spread my glory. With all that, what you are doing is you are coming closer to me. As you come closer to me, you are moving further away from the Maya. That's the trick he is giving us here. So the Lord is wearing a costume called the Yoga Maya, and this costume has a texture of three proclivities, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Now I have to decode this costume. I have to decode this costume, separating the divine aspect and inert aspect of the three proclivities. What is the divine aspect of the proclivities? Sattva. So I have to hang on to the divine aspect of the proclivities, that is the sattva, and I have to discard the Maya aspect of the proclivities, that is Rajas and Tamas. So inability to decode this costume. Now those are the people who cannot understand my unborn aspect, because Paramatma is 100% sattva, and as long as I am increasing the sattva, I am coming closer to the Paramatma. But if I don't practice that, I am unable to understand the nature of Paramatma, that is the unborn aspect of the Paramatma, the immutable aspect of the Paramatma. So then they see me as another living being subject to birth and death. Those who don't separate this out, for them, God, he has no role. He may be, if there's any God, I am superior. This is what in the 16th chapter in the Daivasa Sampadvibhaga Yoga. There is no God, there is no, everything is desire and, attachment to it. That's what the Asuri Sampat people of demonic nature says. The demonic people are the people with Rajas and Tamas proclivities maximized. So they are the people who don't believe in the existence of God, and they are entrenched in this Yoga Maya, in this illusion. Now, again, with the same example that we talked earlier, the cloud, the illusion is covering the Lord, like the cloud covering the sun is to be only known through the light of the sun. If it's a dark night, the cloud exists also, we don't know. We know that the cloud is covered by the cloud is covering the sun only by the light of the sun. If there is no sun, you cannot see the cloud. Like that, Paramatma's Yoga Maya has also to be understood as through the knowing of the Lord himself. So illusion covering the Lord is to be known only through consciousness. Consciousness is the Lord. So deploy the intellect to explore the Lord this way, and making the Lord as a sense object. So such devotees, they seek his grace, they come closer to him. So those who don't seek him, they cannot come closer to him. So those who cannot seek those who seek him, what they do is they have to do it at the cost of ignoring the sense objects. You have the God as a sense object, you have Maya as a sense object. Where do you put your money in? That's in today's language, where do you put your money? In the God as a sense object or Maya as a sense object? Depending on that, we make progress or we don't make progress in this spiritual journey. So we are coming to another 2 minutes, I'll finish. Brahman is of the nature of consciousness and limitless in space and time, and actionless is the cause of the universe. So he is the Karana of the Jagat only through the Maya. Universe is of the nature of inert and limited in time and space. Such power of Brahman, which hides its characteristics of consciousness and limitlessness and presents itself as the inert limited object, is Jagat, is Maya. So this is the definition of Maya, that there is a power, and that power has put a costume and hides from the sense object lovers, and therefore that Paramatma becomes unseen by them. Now, in a commentary on the Shankaracharya, in the commentary of Prashna Upanishad, he has given this statement. Very easy to understand this. Maya is that power of Brahman that enables an outward presentation different from the internal characteristics. His internal characteristics are consciousness and limitlessness. But he is presenting as the universe of inert and limited in time and space. Universe comes and goes. So it is jada, it's inert. So this ability of the Paramatma to present an outward appearance different from his real nature is Maya, and that is what traps people in transmigration. And if we understand the real nature of this Paramatma, then we are discarding the Maya. So this Maya is that power of Brahman that enables an outward presentation different from the internal characteristics. Like the white light is passing through, when it's passing through the prism, appears as seven colors. Like that, this Paramatma is presenting as this inert and limited universe. Now, all this doesn't happen independent of Paramatma. He says, Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagad parivartate. Nature delivers in my presiding. He is the presiding officer. Nature delivers in my presiding all movables and immovables. O son of Kunti, this is the cause by which universe keeps rolling. So there is a cause. The cause is the presiding Paramatma. He is only a witness. Like in a assembly, the chairman, the speaker, he only sits and he listens. He is not participating in any discussion. It's only the members who are participating in discussion. And that is how Paramatma is only a presiding officer. He is the speaker of the universe. And he lets his Maya do the work. We will see this in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.